Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
it's
know,
not so obvious this time, is
no,
it?
you hit the button, you just snuck over there, and we all know.
I know. It's like, might as well not even do it. So, how much do you make in a...
Oh my gosh.
It's always like to ask. When's the last time you went to the doctor, and what was it for?
What was the diagnosis?
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
Great question.
I know. I always ask the best interview questions. So.
Well, this is just like, so riveting right
It
now.
is, very. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Next Day podcast.
The next day on your discipleship journey.
I'm Chad.
I'm Christy.
And we're joined by...
Kelly Dye.
Yay!
This is Kelly's first time on the podcast.
It is.
We have a
It
lot of
is.
first-timers coming on. Let's see. We had Preston, obviously, first time. But then we had Haley for the first time. And now you.
It's a thrill, a true thrill.
And we put them in order of importance.
Oh,
And so
well,
it's-
you know,
Wow.
it feels it's all right. Third in line. It's cool. It's cool.
No, we would have had Haley first then.
So Kelly, tell us what you do here at St. Peter's.
All right. Well, I'm the special needs manager, so I work with all the things tied to our special needs ministry. We do so many wonderful things to include Friday Night Friends. We just got done with our special needs camp last week. We could talk more about that here in a second. We do a weekly H2O respite program for adults, Sunday school support. When
Yeah,
you name
a
it,
lot.
we do it.
And courage
Courage
worship.
Courage.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
I mean,
Courage worship. I mean,
Yeah.
how could I even
it's like
forget that?
Yeah. You have
I
events on
can't.
Friday, you had 2 on Sunday,
Yes.
1 on Wednesday.
Thursday night parent support group. See, there
Oh,
we
parent
go.
support.
The
Yeah.
list goes on
Yeah.
and on.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's super awesome.
And the H2O group, it's... I never know how to feel about them because they're very mean to me.
Are they?
Oh,
Yes.
no, they're
Pastor
not.
Chad,
They're
why
all-
would you say
anytime
that?
I walk in,
This
they're
is-
like, Pastor Chad, you're late.
This is but this is like, if you're not making fun of me, are we really friends? You
Correct.
know?
It's
Is
because
that
they
what it
love
is?
you.
Okay, I
Yeah.
It's
guess so.
because they love you. They
Yeah.
love to see when Pastor Chad comes in. They love they love any visitor who
Yeah.
comes in.
Yeah.
That is their favorite.
It really
thing.
is.
Yeah.
And I can tell like when you're actually really trying to have like conversations with them, but they get so distracted.
too.
Anytime I leave my office, Pastor Chad, I was like, oh, no, you don't
You're
need
like
to.
trying to just like
No, no,
sneak
you
out.
You cannot easily.
I say
sneak
hi
around.
to them like 30 times in the morning. Hi, hi, hi.
Too.
hi.
Anyone does, yeah.
You're late.
love it.
Dang it.
You're like, yeah, you are. Yeah. That's
then
one of our favorite things, though, is to point
And
out your
sometimes I'll be
tardiness.
early. I'll be
yeah.
here as they're coming in. They're like, you're late. I'm like, what?
No, hold on. I was here before you. Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
delightful.
No,
though.
but so Friday Night Friends.
Correct.
Tell us about Friday Night Friends. A little bit about that.
Sure. So Friday Night Friends happens. We follow the school year calendar. So it's going to start back up in August, and it is our monthly respite night for really school age children
Okay.
and their
And their siblings.
And their
right?
siblings, correct, yeah.
So it's almost like a parents' night out for
Yes.
children with special needs
Yes.
and their siblings.
Correct. That's exactly
Which
what
is,
it
I
is.
know that like that's such a huge ministry and such a huge blessing because
Yep.
a lot of times, trying to get a babysitter
Yep.
for neurotypical children is difficult.
Yes.
But a lot of times you have to have like this expertise with like
Yeah.
how to handle a child who has, an array of different special needs,
Yes.
right? And so, and then also not only like finding the person who could do that, but like trusting, the parents are like, I'm not going to leave my kid with anybody,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's a safe place and it's fun.
It
and
is,
like, and
yes.
then the siblings get to be together
Yes.
and like, that's so special.
It's so cool. And we have so many children, teenagers who look forward to Fridays at church. And we get to go to church this Friday, or they will ask multiple Fridays before it's time for Friday Night Friends. And it's really neat, that they're looking forward to even coming to church on Friday. And this is it's dual purpose, right? We have the kiddos who are excited about coming to church on Fridays, and then the families get to have the few hours of respite that they may not really get to have if not for what we provide.
Yeah.
So it's really neat.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then H2O is the adult respite.
Correct.
And
yes.
this is the one, right, that I thought this was so cool that KDISD names this H2O program.
It does.
Right?
Yes.
And is H2O, like, is that a St. Peter's name, or is that like a broad ministry?
It stands for Hearts Helping Others. So two H's, H2, and then O is the others. So
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All the times I've talked to H2, I was like, I don't think I ever
Holy
knew.
moly. Who'd have thunk it? But that's where it comes from. And I'm not sure where, I believe the name evolved from the parents who started it years ago.
Did they start it here?
They started it here, and then from there we took it over. We kind of adopted it once we took over kind of the different
special needs
the programs and stuff as the ministry.
Just kind of made it a cohesive
Correct.
program. Yeah.
Yes. And then from there, the school district, KDISD does, not necessarily in partnership, but they do name H2O as
that's cool.
One of the opportunities.
And it's like
for families.
for when their child is like has graduated
Correct.
right out of school, and it's like what
do we do?
You know?
Yeah, because that is my experience professionally. Really was primarily in elementary education. I taught general education, I taught special education, I was a diagnostician, all in elementary. So my experience was just there. And when I moved into just a volunteer and I don't know, and then start working and do all the things with this wonderful ministry, I got to know our friends at H2O and just fall in love with them, of course. And
They're
didn't
not
really
mean to you.
All the ones that heckle
They're
Chad.
probably very nice to you.
Of course, it's me. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't realize how great of a need having programs like H2O was because when our friends do graduate from high school, you're kind of safe from kindergarten or even preschool all the way until you graduate. And if you are past the you do like a super senior years after you leave public education, there is not a lot out there. And it's hard for families to find the right fit for their loved one. And so we really are blessed to have, even if it's a day a week, we're really blessed that we have this opportunity. So
it's a lot of fun. Like each day, each week y'all meet, there's a theme.
Correct.
It usually has to kind of do with the calendar, kind of what's around that time.
Yes.
They do crafts.
We do.
They watch a movie.
We do.
Have lunch together. And of course, there's a group of them love playing our Papa Shot basketball game.
They do.
And because my office is right on the other side of the wall. And
boom.
all I hear is that and laughter.
Yeah.
Just constant.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I guess I shouldn't try to pay attention too strongly.
Correct.
Because they
love
to
that basketball.
That's awesome.
But
it's good stuff.
But it's just so cool that I'm glad that we're able to. I'm just glad that all these are there for these families, because
100%.
Just the fact that you just mentioned, it's already hard enough finding a babysitter.
Yep.
But then whenever you said someone with special needs, I was like, I would have never thought of that. And I'm sure families who have special needs, yes, why wouldn't you think? It was like, I don't know,
right.
But it's good that we're able to help out with those things.
Absolutely.
And, well, Kelly, we're so glad. And we're going to talk a little bit more about special needs camp here in just a second. But before, and we're going to do an icebreaker. So you feel more comfortable talking on the podcast, even though we've already started bombarding you.
I know. But it's great. I mean, it's good to kind of demystify special needs for those who don't, participate in the programs or see it that often, to just hear about that and get to know a little bit more about the programs that we have. And, I say that there's a lot of expertise there is, but we also have NCL and you know other volunteer groups that come in and are able to help. Obviously, like if there's a very special need that needs to be handled by someone like you who knows and has that expertise, you're there, right? And others, I know there's others on the team for special needs ministry here, but it's definitely like a ministry that anybody can participate in with a background check.
Yes, of course. Pending that. Yeah, absolutely. But we would love any and all volunteer support. Yes. I mean, knowing that if there's any apprehension, but if you've always been interested in helping and you have a heart for it, come talk to us. We would love to get you connected.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, all right. Well, Kelly, get into our icebreaker. I have 3 cards here for you.
Okay.
You pick 1, 2, or 3.
Okay. I'm going to go with 3 since I was the 3rd new person. Feels good.
Love it.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Tell us about special needs at St. Peter.
Check the box.
Well.
All right. If I could travel back in time, I would go to... So what time period would you want to go back to?
Okay.
So, I don't know if y'all have ever thought about this before.
I mean, I've thought of it. I'm like, I have so many different answers. Mm-hmm. You know, like, is it like
this is like, we asked Christy what her favorite month was, and she just, no. I really like January. I like February. I like March and April and May. I like June.
They all have their virtues.
They do. They're all beautiful. You need them all.
But you gotta pick one.
I don't know.
Choose.
Let's see. I like the 50s. I like the 60s. I like this. It's like, no, pick one.
I've always, aside from, I'm going to shift away from, like, there's so many Bible stories I would love to just go, visit. But be a fly on the wall. I'm like, I don't really want to be there and be present because, like, I'm like, I don't really want to get, like, stomped on by Goliath or something like that, but like...
Is that an unmarried woman? Get to your place.
I know, in my jeans. But, I think, aside from all the biblical stories and, like, that long ago, I've always been very intrigued by the 1920s. It feels very like glitzy and glamorous.
Is that like the flappers and all that?
I just love, like, I don't know, the style. I think the cigarette smoke would be a lot, but but the style is like, I don't know, so intriguing, and obviously it's like like internet and everything like that. I can't remember, when was the Industrial Revolution? Was this pre-Industrial Revolution?
This is pre the Great Depression. So
it is pre-Great Depression.
Until you get to the 29th.
I think it is pre-Industrial Revolution, isn't it? I don't know.
A little around there.
It's got to be sometime around there. Anyway, machinery is not like a big thing at this point, at least.
Some historians listening right now.
I know. Guys, excuse me. Sorry. I don't know.
Someone accidentally listened to this because they thought it was a this day in history. And then they're just what?
This is the next day.
These people don't even know.
I'm going to Google it while someone else is answering theirs.
When was the Industrial
I really was going to suggest
I think that all started like in the 1800s and beyond. Like,
oh, yeah. No, this is way after the Industrial Revolution. Yeah. Okay, so like... But there are, like, multiple waves of this. It's not like...
each time a new factory and each time, like...
I mean, they had, like, automobiles. Like, there was, like, industry. But I don't know... Anyway, this was obviously pre...
This is a time where there weren't really airplanes. So
pre-Great Depression, there was, like... there was less going on. There was less, like, I think there were factories, but I don't think it was, like, as... hyped up as it.
Sure. No, that makes sense. This question is very appropriate, I have to say, Chad, for me, because
you're a time traveler.
Well, how did you know?
I've always assumed that you were.
See,
we always knew that.
Yeah, it was something about the mystique, and now we know.
Yes.
Now we know. I just happened upon about I don't know, a couple months ago. I happened to enjoy the movie. What is it? The Great Unknown, about Bob Dylan.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, I'll watch it. And there was just something about the 60s. Mm-hmm. And I happened to ask myself that very question, like, self. If there was a time in history, when would I want to go back to? And I thought, well, maybe it would be the 60s. I used to think the 50s were my jam because I liked, the dresses and with the poodle skirts and like all of the fashion of the 50s. You just
want to live in Grease time.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that would be cool.
You want to date a greaser?
Yes, I did.
That would be
not
cool.
ancient Grease, but like Grease the musical.
Oh, no, I was just thinking ancient Grease. I'm like, that would also be very cool.
No, that would be that's fair. I would support you in that one as well. But like Grease the musical,
I'm talking about summer days are drifting away.
Of course.
There's a lot of musical interludes.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Okay.
So I think I could probably see myself now, maybe in the 60s, potentially. Like,
would you be a hippie in the 60s?
That's a great question.
Christy, I'm surprised she didn't do that.
I know. I do feel like the 60s,
Christy
speak
going
to me
to
in a
Woodstock.
lot of ways.
Going to Woodstock has flowers on her
I could
hair.
see flowers.
No, I don't. My dad grew up in New York, and his best friend went to Woodstock.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
he said he was like he's never talked about it.
Oh no, right. Some things you just leave at Woodstock.
Well, that was the decent. That was the good Woodstock, right?
Exactly.
It was the one in the 90s.
The 90s.
That just like
no, I didn't
know.
It was
a mess.
It was a mess. They did a documentary. They did a documentary about that.
No, this was the OG.
Yeah.
This was the OG, and it was also a mess. But
a mess everyone appreciated.
There was less media coverage. Of
That's true.
So.
That's true. Yeah. So I would say probably there was maybe I just enjoyed the movie so much, and I was just like, ooh, this would be fun. Let me go.
Like a Rolling Stone.
Okay, Bob.
The Watchtower.
Well done. Yes.
Did he do Piano Man? Is that his thing?
No,
that's Billy Joel.
That's Billy Joel.
Oh, that's Billy Joel. Okay.
Yeah, that is.
I'm sure he did a cover. Play me a song with the Piano Man.
He could potentially do a cover, but then he wrote his own stuff. So then
I guess so.
All right, where would you
what
go?
about you?
Time traveler Chad.
All right, so this is going to sound weird.
Here we go.
But because I actually lived in it, but I just want to be older living in it, and it's the 90s.
Okay. Interesting.
Anytime I grew up watching Saved by the Bell,
and
then when I look at it, I'm like, what was high school like?
Okay.
Then? Like, what was it like then?
Yes.
And because I don't know, I've always been fascinated, and I remember like my sister-in-law, so Sable's sister, like. She pretty much went to high school during that time. And I was just like, what was it like going to high school then? Like, I don't know what it is that always fascinated me about it. But yeah, I was just talking with some students about this, like, because when I was in high school, sure, we had some cell phones, but they were very limited.
Yes.
Texting really wasn't that big of a deal.
Correct.
And it costs money to send texts.
I remember that.
And the students were like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it used to cost a dime. Like, it cost 10 cents to send. And whenever you got a response for someone going K, you just got so upset because that cost 10 cents. I was like, don't
even respond. No. This is like getting a telegram.
If you say K, you better follow up with a good compliment about me or something to make it worthwhile. But when I see like older movies and what high school was like or all that, I was just like, man, that would have been pretty cool. Just kind of, I just felt like it was a little bit more simpler and just, I don't know. So
the simple life.
That's what my answer would be.
I like 90s. That. Just to go back, but to appreciate it as an older, to be older. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, yeah, because by the time we got out of it, I was like going into junior high and all that.
But this would be like a Back to the Future situation.
Yeah.
Where you'd be like, Mom, Dad,
Be like, no.
You vaguely look like someone I know, but with a beard.
Yeah. Which, by the way, during the pandemic, we did a movie night where we're watching movies online, and we watched Back to the Future, and that's when I realized this isn't the best movie to watch with students.
Oh, no, it's definitely
There's
not.
a lot of questionable things and a lot of awkward things. You're like, oh, shoot.
Oh, no, yeah.
Gonna have to explain that.
I was in the chat, because we were watching it, and there was like a little chat, and then just someone goes, dude, that's his mom. We were like, yeah, we know. Right? We know. That's the premise. That's the joke. That's the, okay, yeah.
No, we have not, we haven't watched that with our kids, but I cannot wait till we can have a Back to the Future, like, marathon weekend. We're, like, going to watch all three. it's going to be great.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
I feel like 6 and 8, they're a little young.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Especially when you watch the second one, because that's when they actually go to the future, right?
I know, but I hate that one. You have to have it to bridge the story.
Because we're past the time when that happened, right?
I know.
And so now you look at it, you're like, where's that?
They predicted all of this stuff that happened. Like, it's like FaceTime and I don't know, like text messages. Like there was like all of these things. I think even the Cubs in the World Series was like predicted, which is so wild. Yeah.
Nuts.
Man, that's why baseball and all these professional sports are all rigged to fit those themes.
Yeah,
and so they plan it all out ahead of time. So this Kelly, this is also a conspiracy podcast. So we talk about all sorts of things.
No, I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Which ones do you believe? No.
Let me go get my tin hat.
You're going to go back to the 60s to see if the moon landing actually happened. You're going to find the studio.
This is why I need to go back.
You're going to find the studio where it happened.
That's right.
All right. Well, we have Kelly on to talk about, here's another special needs ministry, but this one only happens once a year.
It does.
And it is Special Needs Camp. It was our shout out last week because we were recording this when it was all happening. So what can you tell us about Special Needs Camp? Because it was kind of our last big camp of... After our busy summer nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
I think only 4th of July week was like the only week we didn't have something big planned.
Yeah.
And
then like every week of summer is just like
students and children,
go,
students
go,
and
go.
children, students and children, and then special needs.
Yes.
And so tell us about Special Needs Camp.
Well, it's 3 days of just pure excitement and fun, and we bring in friends from children all the way to adults. We accept all ages.
Here's the thing, because this is not just, which I remember like trying to stray away from Special Needs VBS.
Correct.
That makes it sound like it's for little kids.
Right. Correct.
But y'all have it for
it's
elementary
open
age
to all
grades,
ages, yes.
All the way up to what was probably those oldest?
35.
35?
Yeah, which y'all use the curriculum
Correct.
of the VBS or the theme
so it's the same
Correct.
of VBS.
That means live it out.
Yes.
Live it out.
You did that.
Hey.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we've sang that on the podcast.
We absolutely lived it out, if you will. Yes. Yeah. We followed the same theme. We took a little bit of some creative license while with camping. The camping theme, the overarching camping theme was
it did
still
seem
there.
like it was more. Yeah.
There was a little,
I
a little
walked
twist.
into the Wesley building, the building I always go into, and I just see a big fish. It's like the first thing I see up on the wall is a big fish.
As opposed to
just
some of the other stuff.
pole.
Right, there you go.
So I admired that.
We made them instead. I don't remember what the other. It's just my. Sometimes things in my short-term memory don't quite make it to the long term. I know, shocking.
Me too.
I know, right?
I am very much like
this
that.
is life. But we tilted it to national parks. So that was yes.
Each of these
yes.
classrooms had a national park.
Did.
Right?
They sure did. Yes,
nice.
yes. So that was kind of how we made it a little bit of our own. But each of our campers, each of our participants got to enjoy visiting worship. They had a small group rotation. They had crafts. If they wanted to participate in that, we had a games rotation. We also had a sensory rotation each day, and that one we traded out. So we had a music therapy come to visit one day. We had a silent disco come one day, and then we also had like sensory stations come that, and that was real fun.
Outside kind of group that came in.
Correct.
For that.
Yeah. So
cool.
The sensory rotations probably of them. That would be the highlight, the favorite.
Yeah.
But I think everybody has their own. I would say that was the crowd favorite, the sensory rotation. But then some people love the silent disco. Some people enjoyed the music therapy. Like everybody enjoyed something out of the sensory.
Which is like similar to VBS. I feel like the kids, they have their thing that
Correct.
they're like, oh, I love crafts or I love games or whatever.
Or science.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have like their
sci-
favorite
yeah,
thing.
VBS.
So,
yeah. Same. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
with our camp too. For our friends who might not enjoy crafts so much, if they want to come, we also have an area designated for, I guess, for them to take a break if they need to. It had different just quiet activities that the friends and their buddies could just go and just hang out. If craft rotation or small group rotation, any of the rotations were just too much for them, they could just come on over and hang out for a little bit and then go back and just plug back in when they saw fit. It's just a wonderful 3 days of just coming in and understanding that just God loves them. They're wonderful how they're made, and they're just here to be loved on, and it's wonderful.
In some family, I've heard these stories that some families, this is the first time they've ever been away from them, right? Like they go, are you sure it's okay for us to leave them?
Yes.
Go enjoy your morning.
Yes.
Go. And for some of them, it's the first time they've ever been able to do something like this.
1,000%.
Well, and it's like a camp too, so it's like they're getting consecutive days.
Yes.
So they get
that's
to
huge.
Meet people. They
get to interact with some peers. They get it's like a full day camp experience and like you guys just referenced for the first time ever. Sometimes we get that same experience too. It's to connect it to with Friday Night Friends. Sometimes the parents will say like, oh, "Are you sure? Like we can do it?" And there's this timid hesitancy. No, we're good. Everything's going to be okay. But until the families, they're still learning to trust and
that's tough.
It's so tough. Yeah, I have great respect and appreciation for everything that they're having to live through and go through. So anyway, but no, camp is one of our crown jewels, and we love it. And the volunteers that we love all the volunteers we work with. We can't do it without them. We have buddies. They serve as buddies. They serve as rotation leads. They serve as just group leads. I mean, every role that we have in camp is vital. So it's,
and I love seeing like students get
plugged
in. And
all of them from high school and junior high. Like some of them, like. There's times where I know they'll help out with that, and whenever we start talking about like special needs or whatever in our other student ministry events, and like they're quick to show like how much they enjoy doing that, and how meaningful that is to them, and how they like to continue doing that.
That's great. That's good. It's a huge deal. It's a wonderful thing. With the people who we serve are just wonderful, just humans, and just their souls are just amazing. And that's I can't explain it enough. You have to experience
it.
Yeah.
And every now and then they'll be mean to you if you show up late.
Because they love you.
Because they love you, exactly. And they miss you terribly when you're away.
I guess so.
They're always like, "Where's Chad? Where's Chad? I have to see him." Anyway.
Well, thank you for sharing about that.
Yeah, pleasure.
And anyone we'll keep you all posted on when the next special needs camp and just stay up to date on our website when all these other special needs stuff is happening too.
Yes.
So,
because I know it'll be, especially like with the holidays coming up, there's special opportunities for, the special needs community.
Yeah, because there's like a special needs cookies with Santa.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So just like providing space for that's a little less like stimulating.
Yes.
Just abilities for special needs families to get to participate in this stuff together. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's always like, a pride and joy of St. Peter's to be able to like tell people, yes, like you can be a part of this community. Because there are places, like there are churches that have excluded the special needs community.
Yes.
And families have been told you can't,
There's not a place.
You can't come. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't come. You're distracting in worship or whatever. We don't have a special needs Sunday school, and this isn't, going to work with the other kids and all of that stuff. So this is, it's just wonderful that when people are like, is there a place for us here? We can say absolutely.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
This is one of those things where I was at a conference several years ago, and they were talking about special needs, and they were saying, like, one of the biggest questions they get is, well, we don't have anybody with special needs at our church to do like a ministry. And then their response is, well, do you offer anything for families with special needs? They're like, no. And he's like, well, that's why.
Right.
This isn't a chicken and the egg thing.
No,
this is like...
build it and they will
build it.
And
you need, and it's like, I understand if you don't have anybody at your church right now.
Right.
But what are you doing for when they do show up?
Yes.
And you're showing that you are ready and you're like, hey, here's this.
Yeah.
Hey, we have this. We have, like, what are you doing? And it's, it's a tough thing. And
sure.
I'm glad that this one's at St. Peter's is already kind of established, but there's always, I'm sure there's been new stuff added and all this. And, but yeah, it is. I'm just glad that we are able to help those families, because we've heard so many stories about how they've struggled finding a place for worship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
me too. Very proud.
Yeah.
Very, very proud.
Which kind of bridges into the sermon from the Element this week, actually, just talking about, like, the sermon was on the fruits of the Spirit, and looking at John 15, 1-5, which is the I am the vine, you are the branches passage, right? And through the lens of the fruits of the Spirit. And, one of the things that we talked about on Sunday was the branches that are part, Jesus says, like, my Father's the vine grower, and he cuts off any branch in me that is not bearing fruit, right? And so it's kind of a difficult verse, but it's like, when you think about this as like this great harvest, and anybody like connected to Christ, I love the church that's like connected to Christ, there are those communities, and I'm not like saying that, like, these people are cut off from Jesus or anything like that, but like there are communities that like are not bearing that kind of fruit. Like there are, we know that they're out there, like we hear it, Christian groups or churches that like, are claiming Christ, but then acting hateful and polarizing, and not out of love, not like showing these fruits of the Spirit, or exclusive. Right. And, so anyway, we kind of talked about that. Like it's a difficult verse to kind of stomach, because, it's just very clear. Like, this is these parts of, the body of Christ, right? If they are not staying connected to Christ, the true vine, are cut off, like, to enable a great harvest to take place, right? But I just was like, wanted to say in the sermon, like, this is not our decision. Like, the Father is the vine grower, right? Like, we don't say, you're cut off, you are, that's not our choice to make. No. Our job is to stay connected to the true vine of Christ, to the truth of Christ, right?
Yeah.
The truth of God's word, right? Like, that's our job, and to grow and to share the harvest, right? That's all our job. But I was just thinking about that, how we were talking about other communities that are sometimes, claiming the name of Christ and then acting completely the opposite of the teachings of Christ.
And Chrissy started naming names. She started naming churches in our community.
I heard that.
And if you're listening to this and you don't go to St. Peter, she probably named your church.
That's right.
She was
I did. I was pointing the finger.
I mean, it was necessary.
Yeah.
It was time.
Yeah.
It was time.
No, but that is I think everybody knows that happens, and it's sad that happens. That when people misrepresent the name of Christ, and that's really what taking Christ's name in vain, the Lord's name in vain.
Right, yeah.
It's not so much saying GD. It's not so much like you stump your toe and you say Jesus. Like, yeah, you don't want to. That is kind of a part of it, because
like
you don't want to cheapen it. You want to, but really, I think what taking the Lord's name in vain really was about was don't use God's name to try to make yourself look
your
good.
Agenda.
For your agenda, and to tear other people down with God's name. And it's like, you're misusing it.
Yep.
And so don't do that. And so many churches out there And I'm sure it is something that we always have to do evaluations on
it's good
ourselves.
to check, yeah.
We need to evaluate ourselves.
You got to check on, what you're doing as a church always. Reevaluate that and just say, like, am I staying connected to the truth? Am I, like, connected to the true vine, right? Like, and another thing is oftentimes we cut ourselves off. We make the choice to cut ourselves off, right, from that truth, rather than, it just being like, I just, like, the Father, like, God cut me off from, like, it's not just, like, in vain. Like, that doesn't just happen, right?
Right.
It's usually something that we've strayed and done. Because, another thing I mentioned was, like, churches that honestly have just, like, gotten competitive with each other.
Yeah.
Like, that even is starting to cut yourself off from, like, what's the point of doing what you're doing? What's the point of this gathering and this assembly of people worshiping God and being the body of Christ, right? Is to make disciples, right?
Absolutely.
That's it. And if you are like, oh, we're going to have, like, this church across the street, well, we're going to have more attendance than them. Like, you know what?
That's where it gets really...
That's not the point.
No, not even a little bit.
It's great. I always like to say numbers tell stories.
Sure.
They do. And those are good evaluation tools. But gosh, like, it's staying connected to the truth. That is our job. So, so we talked a bit about that. Also, just, like, individually.
That's where I would say, hearing you say that, because anytime I hear that, we are the branches and you'll be cut off, I do think of that as like, oh, somebody's being cut off. Right. That's always my first thought, because then it says it's thrown into the fire. Which is always, oh, geez,
which
Jesus.
Is very, like, this is very, like, the Gospels. Like, this was very much in, in the Gospel tellings that there is a bit of that, like, hellfire and brimstone fear in there. Like, well, here's what, you better listen, you better do this. And John is a very, like, it's been very adopted by the Catholic Church, like, as a primary teaching. And so I see that very fitting.
And whether that's like an actual, like, whether Jesus is actually meaning like fire and brimstone hell, or it's just like, no, like, that branch is not producing fruit.
Right.
The only good use of it now is for firewood. Like,
right.
So it could just be a very practical thing, but
you need kindling,
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but Chrissy, you mentioned how, like, even the branches could be part of our lives, that we need to cut off things that are not fruitful in our lives.
Right.
Like, we could be, I'm a Christian and I go to church and I love God, but there could be some of these branches in our lives. I kept using the quote, bad branches on my notes. You got to cut off the bad branches.
Sure.
And so, but we have those that are just, because we talk about pruning. And as a kid, my dad, I don't know, he always loved... He could probably talk to you about gardening. It wasn't so much gardening, but he just always had house plants and all sorts of stuff.
Lovely.
But he would try to explain to me about pruning stuff. And I was just like, well, it looks like you're just hurting the tree. It looks like you're hurting the tree. But he's like, no. If you cut this and this and this, now it's going to grow even more.
Yep.
And it's like, cut away the bad branches because they're preventing you from growing and being fruitful.
Right.
So and there's also those in
It's
our
a hard
lives.
choice to make, like, in gardening. Which I was told today that I say that word weird.
No, I thought you said you say it right.
I say it right.
You say it right.
I don't say gardening. I say gardening.
Gardening.
Yeah.
Instead of gardening.
Okay,
like
I see.
probably say
I don't say it.
Break it up. You break the syllables up.
I do. Like, I don't say it like a Texan.
You don't say Garding.
Yeah.
Gardening.
Gardening. Yeah. No, but anyway, in gardening, it's a practice that, like, any good gardener knows. Like, you prune different parts depending on the plant, right? But you prune the parts of the plant that are not bearing the fruit or, like, the flower or whatever. So I'm using, like, tomatoes as a, because I am a Texan, but I grow tomatoes.
I say tomatoes.
I grow tomatoes. Not that we only grow them in
They're
Texas.
my favorite vegetable.
Oh, how dare you. Be better. Be better.
But they, in a tomato plant, one thing that you're told to do is, like, if there's a branch on your tomato plant that is just leaves, anything that's below fruit bearing. So, like, if there's tomatoes above it, and everything below it is, just the leaves, just take all of those branches off of the tomato plant, because it concentrates the growth, like in the nutrients, towards the branches that are bearing the fruit. Otherwise, like you're wasting energy on these branches that like are not bearing anything, right? Like the plant is trying to send nutrients there to keep the leaves alive. And we're like, we're not in it for the leaves. We're in it for the fruit, right? So that is same kind of concept, right? Yeah. And I think I was thinking about it that way. Like, what are things, and it's practical, honestly. What are things that are like, the question was, what in your life do you need to cut off so that you are abundantly growing the fruits of the Spirit? And that emphasis on the word abundantly, right? Like, I'm thinking practically, like for me, if I am not disciplined enough in my life and, I'm just lazy, I can kick back and be like, I just want to like watch some like trash TV show for like hours, right?
Yes, that sounds delightful.
At night, right? Like,
our icebreaker. What's your favorite trash?
Yeah, write that one down. I like that. I like that question.
Just like lay in bed at night and like watch the trash TV for like hours. And I mean, like, let me just be clear. My trash TV I'm talking about I'm not like that much of a trashy TV person, but like we're watching How I Met Your Mother. It's like not terrible, but
Christy, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know.
I thought you were going to like Real Housewives.
No, okay, that's my jam. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what Sable watches all those.
She and I could get on so well.
I don't like those. They bother me. But
they bother me.
Anyway,
that's the point. They're supposed to bother you.
Yes, they are supposed to.
Or just like scrolling like Instagram, just like for
doom
hours
scrolling,
and hours, right? Yeah,
yes.
and it's not even like doom scrolling. It's like I'm in a little bubble. I'm looking at like gardening tips or like people that are like
scrolling, you're right.
Making recipes or like designing things in their house. All of that kind of stuff. It's nice things to look at, but like, is it producing fruit in my life? Yeah, like what is it producing in my life?
Right.
Like is it am I starting to like bear fruit that is not like connected to the true vine, right? And I'm not saying that you have to be like, Amish here and it's like, okay, you can only like read the Bible, you can only, watch The Chosen, or whatever. But like they probably well, I don't know. They don't Amish people don't
watch TBN.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, right? It's not like you have to be like this strict on yourself, but it is just asking the question, like, is there energy that is being wasted on something that is bearing no fruit or sucking the like energy away, the nutrients of the goodness of God away from your life? Is it doom scrolling, right? Like, are you spending hours just like getting sucked down into that deep, dark pit of, despair?
Yeah.
Like the world is a terrible place rather than being, empowered to go into the world and be the branches that bear fruit, the good fruits of the Spirit, right?
But a good example of that is because I really have had to, I cut that out like a couple of years ago so I still will be active, at least on like Facebook and all that, but I don't just scroll through my news feed anymore. Okay. I will see whatever's first popping up because that's usually when someone had a baby.
Yeah.
It's usually someone's retired or there'll be something like that I'll see and I'll congratulate them. And I do stay up to date on like groups. I have certain groups I check in, but I just stopped scrolling because I realized what wasn't being fruitful for me, what was keeping me from joy was... And I don't know, read this about me as you want, like, but I would really get this jealousy kind of feeling when I saw what other people were doing.
Sure.
So I've used this example with students, like, like Sable and I, we could go to Corpus Christi, or we go to Padre. South Padre is one of our favorite places. We will spend several days there, and we had the time of our life. It was so great. We loved it. And then I'll be looking online, and I'll say, oh, wow, like these people went to Hawaii. Man, my vacation sucked. Like, and that's what instantly what runs through my mind is and I'm happy for my friends who did that. But at the same time, I still feel this kind of like, well, dang, like, I wish we could have afforded to do that trip instead. Yeah. Oh, I wish we could have, and I start sitting there doubting myself. And so it was keeping me. I think I really did this during election season because that was whenever I saw friends and family.
Turn off social media during election season, guys.
Because I have I know for me, I have all my more conservative family and friends from Lufkin growing up. And then I have all my more liberal theater friends from college. And when I'm seeing their news feed, it's just everybody's lying, everybody's doing this, everybody, and I'm just like, So eventually I just go, you know what? I'm going to stop scrolling. Mm-hmm. And I've been like, I haven't felt that way in a while. And it's just like, I felt a whole lot better. I cut off that branch. And now every now and then I'm still tempted every now and then, but like, I just know I'm happier.
In 2020, I developed a no scroll policy on Facebook. So I have Facebook. I've always had to have it for work because I've done communication. So I've always had to have Facebook and Instagram and all of that so that I can participate. I guess Instagram I don't have to, but to participate in it. But I had a no scroll policy, and it was literally a game changer. Because I'm like, the only thing I see is if it's at the very top of my newsfeed. Sometimes it's the post that was, had all the comments because it's very divisive.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's just like someone's life update, like someone had a baby, whatever, just like the celebratory kind of things. And that's been a huge thing to cut off in my life.
That's why my family would be like, they'll tell me something. I was like, oh, I didn't know you did that. You didn't see it on. I'm like, no, I don't scroll
just tell
through.
Me
you can text me. You can.
There's so many other ways.
Let's bring back the Christmas newsletter.
Oh, right,
like,
sure. That is a-okay.
Oh no, but I think the other part of this, too, about this verse is, just like I call it the Hobby Lobby verse, like I am the vine, you are the branches, right?
Speaking of which, our sponsor today is Hobby Lobby. When you need verses taken out of context, go to Hobby Lobby and hang it up in your kitchen.
For $75.
No, they're always on sale.
They're always 50%.
If you catch it, you got to catch it on the right week. Let's be clear.
But anyway, and no shade at Hobby Lobby.
Not at all.
I love Hobby Lobby.
I go there quite a bit.
Yeah. But I do. It's always like, they take the nice, pretty verses and I'm an artist this way too. I will put them in my house. Like I'll make them myself,
Sure.
But that's my thing is I'm like, I'm not going to buy the, $45. I'm going to paint it myself. But anyway, this one, I am the vine, you are the branches. Like, have you seen that a million times?
Oh, sure.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that one doesn't get taken out of context a ton. Like I think that one's it's pretty clear, right?
It's not like I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Right.
At every football game, and I think that verse is about them winning the game.
But I think what happens with this verse is that we hyperfixate on I am the vine, right? Yeah. Like Jesus is the vine, and we forget you are the branches.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
We forget the function of a plant. Like the branches are the main function of a plant. Like if it was just the stem or the stalk or the trunk or whatever, it is basically useless, right? Mm-hmm. The branches are the function of the plant. That is where the fruit grows,
right.
And so I think oftentimes we hear that verse and we're like, oh, I just got to stay connected to, to Jesus. And then like everything's good in my life. And I'm like,
nah.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's really important part of it.
Whole thing.
But that is not the entire thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that, yes, Jesus is the true vine. Stay connected to Jesus. That is the only way that you are able to bear fruit. However, you have to go and be the branches and bear the fruit. That is you have to be a part of that work. You have to reach out into the world and do that. And I think when we participate in that work, and we offer that good fruit to the world. It's like, I referenced the Psalm, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. And I just love that. Like that's what we're doing. When we are reaching out into the world, staying connected to the true vine of Christ and offering those fruits of the Spirit, right? That is the fruit that we're growing. That is sweet. And it's in contrast to anything else that the world offers. There is nothing sweeter than the fruit of the Spirit. Right? Like
it's
nothing.
Not a coconut.
It's not a coconut.
Not a coconut.
No.
Turns
apparently.
out.
No, but whenever you mentioned, think of a tree that doesn't have limbs. I was like, well, palm trees, banana trees, I think.
I know. This is what Emmy and I were talking about after. She was like, what about like coconuts? And I'm like, yeah, I thought about writing this into the sermon because I was like, They don't. The exotic trees, the fruit doesn't really grow on branches as much. It was like concentrates. It's the coconut, it's the bananas, and all of that. But you get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really good. And I got to listen to Preston's, and it kind of goes with this, and it's even touching on like something I know I want to talk about this coming week. I'll be preaching The Element. But yeah, his whole thing was about like Jesus asking his disciples, "Who do you say I am?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about that. But then he really talked about mourning and talk about how community worked together in those times.
Yeah.
And how because even Jesus is about to endure something. And he's like, well, who do you say that I am? Even when he's about to be betrayed and he's about to be like killed and all this. And so, and that was really good too. So be sure, so y'all be sure y'all listen to Christie's in the Element, as we just talked about. But you can listen to Preston over in the traditional service, and you can listen to Carl at the West Campus.
He's preaching about enemies of the, I don't remember.
Enemies of the people.
Of the people or of the church. Oh, it's enemies of the church.
Yeah,
that's what. And then we're talking about.
And he talked about the Apostle Paul, right? This time.
Yeah.
So. We're finally coming. Well, we have one more Sunday of like a free for all because I think August 3rd is like there's no sermon series for this next Sunday.
It'll be standalone sermon.
But then we get into a sermon series, so we'll finally be on the same page.
Yay!
This has been very stressful. Like
the podcast has been all over the place.
I know. Yeah, y'all are listening. Some of y'all may have listened. Y'all attended West Campus. You're like, well, dang, y'all didn't talk about that one at all. I was like, we're trying to cover what we can.
As one who listens to all, let's be clear, to prep,
Ooh.
I was, yes, I'm a preparer if I'm not anything.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, might have been third new one, but I listened to all of them. I was like, wow, they are, look at this. This free for all is legit a free for all. But it was very insightful to hear all the different, versions, because usually as the one we mentioned it earlier, I'm usually repping Sunday school, so I don't have the opportunity typically to get my worship on. So it was quite lovely, I must say.
Well, to be clear, even if they're all preaching on the same text,
correct,
it's still
gonna be. No, you're
place.
right. No, totally,
it's, like,
it's gonna be different.
Chrissy, where did you get that from? And then Preston talked about that. Oh, Carl, what the heck are you talking
100%.
about?
It's always
100%.
kind of like comforting when we have like one of the other pastors, when we've all preached like on the same text basically, but it's completely different. But it's always comforting when like we get together and I'm like, oh good, I said that too. It's like I wasn't just a heretic yesterday,
Heretic. That's funny.
Someone goes, now just so y'all be clear, remember it's a heresy to look at scripture this I did that.
Oopsies.
That's 100% what I did.
Well, about that.
This interpretation is completely wrong. Yeah.
Anyway.
Every now and then I do see a meme that says something like that, where it's like I don't know. So one of the main ones is always like anytime someone tries to turn Goliath into like, what is your Goliath in life?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did a lesson.
Oh,
like
everybody's
I'm pretty sure I did a lesson.
Everybody's
and that meme's like making fun of everybody who did it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did that.
Yeah, well, here we are.
Otherwise, it's like, who's the giant person in your life that's like trying to attack you and
that you need to throw rocks at.
That you need to throw a rock at.
Sling rocks at.
How else are we going to make this applicable, guys?
This is amazing. Love this.
But listen to those, and our ministry shout-out now, we're talking about something, we already did several ministry shout-outs to special needs. It's like a very special thing.
Yeah, this was a delight, a true delight, guys.
Yeah. But we did want to highlight one. This is a very, I don't know how much the whole church knows about this, because I don't know how well it's like advertised, but it happens.
Wait a minute. Don't throw shade at the advertising.
Well, no, I don't know. Like, does it have a name?
The men's morning coffee.
That's what it's called.
Men's,
I just thought
Monday morning coffee. Yeah.
Monday morning coffee. It meets when?
Mondays on Monday morning.
The next day.
The next day. They really are.
They're
the next day live.
We're going to sponsor them. It's going to be the next day, and we're going to record.
Y'all
should
really
have
should
a podcast
do this.
episode with the morning.
Oh, we should.
Yeah. We really should.
Because it happens every Monday morning.
We just got to get every Monday morning at Humble Grounds Coffee over. I think it's on 1463, unless I'm getting my roads all mixed up. But it's the one over there.
It's
near
the one
West
closer
Campus.
to West, because there is one in Old Katy.
It's the original Humble Grounds Coffee. So, that original Humble Grounds Coffee, and they meet at 7 a.m. I believe on Monday mornings over there.
There's a 7 a.m. now?
They do. And it's a good mix of men that are coming together from West Campus and Kingsland Campus. We don't. And I will say I've been told by the men who gather that there's never really a presence of men from the element. So they're always like, we talk about the sermons, but we never get to talk about yours.
So
because
we need more
no
guys
there.
from the element.
Yeah.
To
So
go.
if you're in the element, and listening, you got to go and represent.
It's time. This is your
Step up.
call to action.
But anyway, so they basically just like debrief the sermons. They talk about things that, really like landed with them. They kind of dig a little bit deeper, and share with one another kind of, what the pastor preached on at that particular campus or venue. Mm-hmm. And so they just like get to share with each other. So it's very much a time of fellowship, but obviously with the spiritual component of coming together and looking at scripture and, kind of taking a deeper look at the sermons, similar to what we do on the podcast, but you get to be in the conversation.
Yeah, you're in the conversation and you get coffee.
And you get
that's
really
an
good
excellent
coffee.
bonus,
Really good
if you
coffee.
ask me.
Yeah, and it's a play on words coffee, humble grounds.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
So
Love it.
Those
good
are
pun.
the best types of coffee places, if you ask me.
I remember that our church had a place called Hebrews Cafe.
Oh,
I love
say
it.
less.
Which was my grandfather's favorite joke was like, in the Bible it says men are supposed to make the coffee. Hebrews.
There it is.
He loved that joke.
That is not the case in my house. It was like a shared, partnership with Justin and I, but now he has decided that he's going to be more caffeine free in his life.
Oh, wow.
And he's drinking chicory root.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah.
And he's like, it tastes like nearly, it really has the same flavor as coffee, but there's no caffeine, and it's like pretty.
There's
pretty
decaf. You can get decaf coffee.
Okay, but I use the coffee pot in the morning.
Oh,
is
sure.
the problem.
Right.
Is there
Okay,
caffeine residue? And it's like.
No, I just hog the coffee pot in the
you
morning.
hog it. Okay, that's why.
Sure.
Okay.
You have to run it twice, Chad. Come on.
Let's be clear.
All right. Well, but thank you for joining us today.
Thank
It was
you
so
for
great
having
to have
me.
you.
True pleasure.
We'll have you on it again sometime.
I love this. I
I
love this
know.
for all
Great.
of us.
I know, and she does her research too.
I
so
do.
this
I
is-
come prepped.
You
Yeah.
did more research than us.
I know.
I don't know. Carl talked about something. I don't know.
Yeah, we talked. I know what he talked about. I
Yeah.
haven't heard the sermon. So.
I
Great.
did.
All
I
right.
did.
Well, but we hope to have you on again. And for everyone else, we'll see you all next week on the Next Day podcast.
See you next time.
Bye.